Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful day out. I was really lucky this morning to go out and go hiking, and I saw some magical, beautiful trees and clouds and mountains, and it inspired me so much. And then I got back and had an even more wonderful surprise. So we have another guest teacher today, and some of you have, I believe some of you have met him before. We'll see. And he actually came to visit me because I've been having a really hard time. I've really been struggling with this painting that I've been working on. So this is a picture that I've been working on of a photo that I took when I was running on the trails. And I've been having a really, really hard time with it. So our guest teacher today came and he gave me some really good advice because I felt like I've been making some mistakes, and he told me that it's the imperfections that make something beautiful. That's what makes it different and unique from everything else. So even if there's things in my painting that I don't like, maybe somebody else sees them as something beautiful, and there's always going to be imperfections. Nobody is perfect. No painting is perfect. At least none of mine are perfect. So that was some really great advice. The other thing he told me is whatever makes you happy, put in the world. So I want you to think about that. Whatever makes you happy, put in the world. I think it's a good one. So maybe that's something you can reflect on today. So I am really excited to get started and welcome our special guest. Let's see. Are you ready? Come on. Come on over. So good to see you. Oh, hello. Good morning, boys and girls. I am so excited to be here today. Does anyone know who I am? Yes, I think I remember some of you from last year when I came in. I substituted for Miss Smith on Halloween. That was a wonderful time. I enjoyed meeting all of you so much. So I'm here to show you a little bit about how to paint and to tell you a little bit about myself. So first of all, my show, and you can look it up, I was very, very famous. My show is called, or was called, The Joy of Painting. So this was how I used to teach people to paint. And we used a very special technique back then. I completed in my life 30,000, supposedly 30,000 different paintings. And a lot of those I painted with other people on my show. So my purpose was to make everyone believe that they were also an artist, because you are all artists. Everyone knows they can be an artist, and that was what I want everyone to believe about themselves. So a little bit about me. I was born in Florida. I'm actually from Florida, and I was born on October of 1942. My parents were wonderful people. My father was a carpenter, so that means he worked with wood. And I helped him sometimes. Kind of a terrible thing that happened when I was young was I was working with my father on some wood, and yes, I lost one of my fingers. I cut one of my fingers with a saw. So not a lot of people know that, because I keep my hand hidden under my palette when I'm painting on the show. So I helped my father. He built things, and my mother was really into nature. She was really into the outdoors, so that instilled in me a real love of nature. And you can see in my paintings that we're going to look at that nature has inspired me to do so many paintings. Just like I know your teacher, Ms. Smith, has also been inspired by mountains and by nature. Before I became a painter, I was actually in the U.S. Air Force, and allegedly I was a sergeant, which meant that I had to yell at people. I was a drill sergeant, so I had to yell. So after I was done with the Air Force, I said, no, I'm never yelling again. Now I've always talked with this much softer, quieter, more pleasant voice. But when I was in the Air Force, I was very fortunate to be stationed in Alaska, where the scenery outdoors is just beautiful, just beautiful. So that inspired me as well to really paint and be inspired by the nature and the beauty all around us. So I first started painting and learned how to paint from a show that came before mine. And the artist that was in charge of that show, that was the painter that taught everyone, was named William Alexander. And he's the one that taught me how to paint beautiful landscapes like mountains and like my happy trees. And he also showed me, and I later taught this to many more people, a technique called a la prima, or wet on wet paint. And I used oil paint, which is really, really nice. It smells a little bit. So we aren't going to be using oil paint today, because I know as well that we don't have oil paint, and the Smith doesn't have oil. But this technique was kind of made more popular and taught to more people by me. And this was a way for you to paint really quickly. So I had short television shows, and I would finish a whole complete painting in just one show, because I could paint over wet paint. Now, eventually, I had my own show, and unfortunately, or unfortunately, it became really, really popular. So William Alexander and I were very close friends. He was my mentor, he was my teacher. But when I became a little more popular, my show became a little bit more famous than his, he got a little upset. But I still do give him credit for teaching me how to paint. So I couldn't really help it that people just liked me more. Okay, so what I'm going to be showing you today, and Miss Smith has offered to let me use her wonderful studio in her home, is I'm going to be showing you how to paint some happy little trees. But I first wanted to show you guys, give you a little look at my painting studio and some of the paintings that I have created in my lifetime. Remember, 30,000 things I have painted. Okay, are you ready to go? All right, let's go. Okay, boys and girls, welcome to my studio. So this is one of my paintings that I made on my show, and I told Miss Smith that I would review some things with you guys. I know that you've learned some different vocabulary in the last couple of weeks. So the first word I would like to review with you is the landscape. So my paintings were landscapes. That means that they were a picture of the land. Now, the other thing that we wanted me to go over was space. So that means the foreground, the middle ground, and the background of a painting. So I want you to think and look at this painting right here. What is the foreground? What would be considered the foreground of that painting? And if you were thinking of the waterfall and this grass up in front, you would be correct. Those are the things that are closest to us, and they were the biggest. Even though that waterfall isn't the same size as the mountains back there, it appears that way because the waterfall is closer to us than the mountains. So that is what we call the foreground. Now I want you to look into what you think the middle ground would be on this painting. And
these trees in the middle and the water would be correct. That is the middle ground. So that's what's between the foreground and the background. So it's starting to get a little bit smaller as we go back. So now I want you to think, what is in the background of this painting? And I know you're all looking at the mountains and the sky there. So those are the things that I painted that are the furthest away. And so they are the smallest when you think about how big a mountain really is. It is a lot bigger than one of those trees that we see in the middle ground, or this tree that you see on the edge of my composition. So because they're in the background the furthest away, they appear smaller. Okay, I know you also painted a landscape picture of the land with a wonderful man named Coach Angel. So Coach Angel taught you as well that the trees that are in the front, or the hills that were in the front of that painting, were darker. So you can see in my painting as well that the trees that are closest to us are darker. And then as the trees go further away, going into the background, the trees get lighter in color. So that's another way that you can show space, that you can show that something is closer or further away. So let's look at another painting. Okay, boys and girls, before we get started, I just wanted to show you one example of some trees that I paint. So again, we're going to be using a big brush, and we're going to be using big brush strokes. So if you look closely at this painting, it's just a whole lot of green shapes. So I'm going to show you how to make these happy little trees very quickly on our canvas. We cannot wait to get started.
Okay, here we go. Now to get started. It's a beautiful day here, so we're going to make kind of a sunset. We're going to start with the yellow ochre, which is really just something, I see this yellow, it really just makes you feel good inside. So Miss Smith has let me borrow a really cool palette that's reused, I believe, from your cafeteria. So I appreciate that you guys haven't been eating too messy at breakfast, and we can save some of those for painting. Okay, so we're going to start a big brush here. All I'm going to be doing is making these kind of crisscross strokes there. So let me get plenty of paint. Got my yellow ochre. I'm just going to use a very small amount. I'm just going to start making those X's right there. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going just across the canvas, just like so. Add plenty of light in there. I'm going to just bring a little light into our world. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab my alizarin crimson. Another nice and warm color. Really just makes you feel good. Makes you feel good inside. So I'm going to wash off my brush. And I'm going to be painting right on top. I can just paint a little bit over on top. That yellow. Okay, so I'll go right in there and blend those a little. a little bit of yellow. Just gonna keep blending that in. Now I can take my brush. We have our wet on wet. I can go over it. I'm gonna even keep blending that a little more so we have a nice warm sky. Right? Now I think what we're gonna need to do in front before we start our happy evergreens, my favorite, we'll go in and we'll do a little bit of green grass in there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some nice, happy green grass up in front here. We need some green to give our trees life. And I will say that Miss Smith doesn't have the oil paints that I usually use. So these are just wonderful, a little different for me. You know, the more that you practice with things that you don't know as much about, the better you get. And I don't quite like how, oh, you know what? I think we have a really happy accident right here. I don't really love how this green has gone over the red. Usually when I'm using my oil paints, it's a wet on wet technique. We don't get that. The green would go right over. But what I do see is we might be able to make these out of this accident. I think we might be able to make some green mountains up here. Wow, so we're just going to pull the paint across there. I'm going to use this flat edge of my brush. And I can just keep going in there. Makes nice mountains. Son of a gun, that was a very happy accident. Okay. All right, so now I've got those nice, brilliant green or phthalo green mountains. And before we start with our happy trees, we need some happy clouds. Now, let's build us a happy little cloud that floats up around in the sky. All right, so our happy clouds. Now, I've got some titanium white here. I'm going to use this fan brush now. And we're just going to lighten up our world a little bit. And I'm just going to be using the edge of my brush here. And I'm just going to make some circles, so I'm not pulling the paint around. All right. You can see because we have a sunset sky, we're going to get some of those colors that are going to come through into my clouds. Come up from behind there. Okay. And there's always going to be that little bit of a white, fluffy part maybe in front of our cloud here. Okay, so it's a little hard to see on our camera. Okay, so I think it's time to have a little happy little evergreen in our world. All right, so now we're ready for our happy little evergreen tree in our world. What I've got is on my palette a little phthalo green and what I call my mountain mix. And I'm just going to take my fan brush and I'm going to really just coat it. I'm going to wiggle it through there, drag the paint down. So I have a son of a gun, sharp as a knife edge there. we're gonna make our first tree. I'm just gonna use the edge of my brush, and I'm just gonna start by dragging that edge down. Good. All right. Okay, so now I'm gonna still be using the edge of my brush here. And we're just gonna be dragging that paint across. Good. Yeah. Good. Just dragging it across there. Oh yeah. And really gonna press down hard. Really gonna show it who's boss here. Okay. A little bit up there. Okay, you know what? You know what's better than one happy little evergreen? This one's a little bit lonely, so we're gonna add a friend in here, and we're gonna put it back like we talked about, back a little bit further, almost like it's in the middle ground in front of those mountains. Same thing here. Just gonna use that sharp edge, little line. Good, good. And I'm just again gonna drag my brush across there, right in front of that cloud we put in our world. Just really press that down. Okay. Gonna have the top of our tree there. Right, excellent. And you know, I'm gonna make this one a little bit taller there. Beautiful. Okay, boys and girls. So that is our happy little evergreen tree. I know that Miss Smith has something else that she'd like to teach you. And if you'd like to try my technique, I would love that. You can always just use what you have at home. If you just have pencils, if you have paint, that's wonderful. And Miss Smith's also going to show you how to draw something. She told me that it's a big surprise, so I can't wait to see how those turn out.
So, you know, I shaved today, and then this is just
Okay, boys and girls, so I know a lot of you don't have paint at home, and this is Miss Smith, Bob left. So what I wanted to show you, if you don't have paint to make some happy little trees, we're going to, in honor of Bob Ross, we're going to draw a picture of him. So let me show you the photograph that we're going to look at, and then I'm going to show you how we can kind of simplify a photograph by looking at the lines in it to draw a picture of Bob that won't take us 3 hours to make, because sometimes photographs are really detailed, and so it makes it really hard and it takes a really long time. So we're going to try to simplify this one. So let me show you the photo. Okay, so now to get started, I have my paper in portrait because this is going to be a portrait. It's going to be a person, not a landscape like Bob always painted. And start as always by writing your name. Let's see. Make sure you guys can see. Okay, let's make sure. Perfect. Okay, so all we need right now is eraser and a pencil. And I'm going to start right in the middle with Bob and his head and his hair. So I wish you guys could look at the photo while I'm doing this, but haven't figured out how to do this yet. So this is his hairline. Just going to simplify it into a basic curved line. And then it comes down just a little bit. Those are the sides of his forehead. And then I'm going to come out just a little bit where his cheeks are. Now you notice in the photo he's making this kind of big wide smile, so his face is going to be a little bit longer because his mouth is a little open. So I'm going to go down here, and a lot of what's going to show on his face rather than the actual lines of his cheeks is his beard. So I'm just going to sketch that in for right now. We're going to come back and do his beard. Next, we're going to put in some eyebrows up here. It's kind of big eyebrows. Again, I'm just making simpler kinds of lines. Okay, now we're just going to show one side of his nose with the shadow. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make that line where that's kind of where his nose meets his eye. And the nose is going to come down like that. And there's just a little shadow. So the light's coming in from over there. So that means there's a shadow over on this side of the nose. Okay, then his eye here is just going to be basically a line and a circle. And we'll see, I might have to adjust that a little bit. I think we'll leave it like that for right now. Okay, and on the other side is so that we have the nose right here. So I'm not going to start the eye over here. There's a little space. And then again, I'm just making a line. And then his pupil is under there. And I'm just going to make a very, very faint line for his eyebrow. Okay. Next, we're going to make the bottom part of his nose. So I'm going to just make the shadow that's underneath his nose. And then he's got a big smile. So these are his smile lines. And then his mouth coming down here. It's a big smile. So right, these are the corners of his mouth. This is going to come across first. And then the sides of his mouth are where we see the shadow that goes in to his mouth. And then at the front, the teeth will come down and be white. I'm not going to make every single individual tooth. Okay, now erase that line because we're going to be making the beard very soon. And I can already see that this side of the face is a little bit bigger, a little wider. So I'm actually going to look at the photo. It's going to come in a little bit there. Okay, so now before I do the beard, I'm going to show the bottom part. So there's the line because he has a big open smile. There's a line that's a little darker here that goes into his mouth. And then we can see just white shape for his bottom of his teeth. Okay, there's his big smile. I'm going to make a little line up here. Because we do have that little part above his lip where there's going to be a little shadow. Okay. All right, so far so good. I might go back and adjust a couple of things, but leave it like that for now. And now for his beard, he's got a little bit of shadow in there. Most of the beard is going to be just kind of a gray, lightish color. It's coming down here. So I'm just kind of making some sketchy lines here. And because again, the light's coming in from over here, this side of the beard is going to be lighter. And then he's got little kind of things, what do you call that? The part of the beard that connects to your sideburns. We could just call those the sideburns. Okay, now ears, and then we'll do his big afro. You guys know he actually got a perm, so it wasn't his natural hair. His ear is going to be just about lined up with where his nose is. It's a little bit that way. Okay, and just have a little circle shape that's going to peek out under his hair. And on the side, we don't even see his ear. Okay, so now I'm going to do just the outline of his afro first. And if you look at some of his videos, there's like some where his afro is a little shorter. And actually, eventually, when he was getting older and he was getting a little bit sick, he actually wore a wig in some of his shows. Okay, so I'm just going to make some shading in here. I'm not going to color in the whole head. I'm going to make some little spots where I can see a little bit of change in color. We'll go back and look at that photo one more time. Okay. So over here, as the hair goes back, it gets a little bit darker because the light's on the front a little bit more. So back here on the edges, I'm going to have it a little bit darker. It's further away from us. And I don't like how clear this line is. We're going to erase it and make it a little bit lighter. His hair comes down here. So we'll make more hair instead of this line straight across because his hair does not come like a line straight across. Okay, so now we got the beard, we got the hair coming down here. Now he always wore the same shirt, so you might have noticed in the video that he had on this kind of blue collared shirt. It was a blue denim shirt, actually. That means kind of like jean material. It's a little bit darker, so there's a shadow where his shirt starts. This is collar. Again, I'm just making simple lines where I see kind of the biggest shapes and the biggest shadows. And then his collar comes down. I don't think he has his first button there at all. There we go. And with this stuff, I want it to look like a shirt. If it doesn't look exactly like the shirt, how the shirt does in the photograph, that's okay. As long as we know it's a shirt and it pretty much looks like what Bob Ross's shirt looks like. Okay. I wonder what Bob would think of all this COVID stuff now. I guess he would be okay in his job because he doesn't teach live shows. Okay, we have his arms. His arms are up, right? Because he was holding, in the picture, he is holding a palette over here. Just the start of his arm and then the palette. It's a huge palette. Goes over there. And if this drawing is a little too overwhelming for you, there is on a classroom page a little bit of a simpler drawing of Bob. Okay, I wonder if Bob's going to come visit us again at school. Smith's always looking for good substitutes that you guys like. See that? So there's always to make something look like a shirt or like cloth. You just have to make some of those lines where, because usually a shirt doesn't like completely
flat. You see some of the folds in it. Okay, so that's pretty much, yeah, you know what? His pants aren't hiked up quite that high. I'm going to cut back to the photo one more time. Okay, so back here to finish up. I'm going to just finish with this belt here. So he's got belt loops. Here's his belt. Again, just simple shapes. Really dark spots. It helps me to shade in. And it gets smaller as it goes around his waist because it's getting further away. And then he's just got his jeans. So there's like a pocket right here. And that's actually pretty much as far as we get in the photo. So we'll leave it like that. Okay. What I'm noticing right here is his arm does come down and kind of up like that. So it's a little bit hard to see those lines. And let's see. Okay, so his arm's behind there. His hand is hidden. That would be his left hand that only has 4 fingers on it. So that's why he always had it underneath the palette. Some more folds. Make sure I've got that in the right place. And it looks like I didn't plan very well because I think I'm going to run out of room for that paintbrush that he's holding. Oh boy. Well, you know what? We'll just make his arm a little bit more bent. Like he's flexing a muscle. Let's see if we can do this without having something that's in the photo that looks like this. Trying to say his arm's bent up a little bit more. You guys know Miss Smith needs things to look at when she's drawing, so it's hard to draw an arm when I can't see it looking just like that in the photo. See how we do. Helps to have more folds in the shirt to maybe distract if the arms aren't perfect. Okay, and then we can show him kind of holding some paintbrushes. See a little shadow there. Okay, keep stopping, checking back, see how it looks. A little funky over here. Okay, so paintbrush here. This is just that part by his thumb of his hand. I have a paintbrush coming out. Like that right here. Always have those big brushes. Remember, I'm not drawing every little bristle. Okay, so there's one. I'm just going to make one more because I'm running out of space, but he's actually holding 3. This one's going to be behind the other one. All right, looks like paintbrushes to me. And just going to show his fingers over here. You can see his finger coming around those brushes. All right, I think we just need to make some paints over here on the palette. And picture. It's kind of a messy palette, so I'm not going to make nice, neat little circles. That's never how our paint ends up on the palette. It's kind of messy, organic shapes down here. All right, so there we have Bob Ross. He looks a little bit younger, maybe not exactly like the photo, but I think I like it. I think Bob would like it too. I think he'd appreciate that. So make sure you also post your pictures of Bob when you draw them. And okay, so awesome job. I'm really excited that we got to have this special guest today. I'm looking forward to the rest of the week with you guys, and then last week of school we're gonna have tons and tons of fun, some Zoom parties. So I hope you have a good day, and I miss you all.
Oh my gosh, wow, Bob, that came out amazing. I can't believe how quickly you did that. That's really great. Oh, and I love how you have enough branches for those little birds. For the little birds to have somewhere to put their feet as well. That is really great. So Bob, I wanted to show you something that we made for you. Are you ready? Okay. Okay, so my boys and girls from Synergy just helped me to make a portrait of Bob. Wow, Miss Smith, that is really incredible. I'm just blown away. I am so flattered. That is beautiful, beautiful. I'm so glad that you like it, Bob. That really fills my heart with joy. I'm so glad you like that. And Bob, if you'd like to take that with you, that would be great. I think that we would love to even see more of drawings from my students. So if you want to send those in, if you want to take pictures and post them in our classroom, then I can show Bob. Yes, that sounds so wonderful, Miss Smith. I would love to see your students' work. So, boys and girls, it was wonderful to be here with you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Keep painting. You are all artists. Have a great day. See you next time, and God bless. Okay, boys and girls, it has been so wonderful to be here with you today. I hope you have a wonderful week. I heard summer vacation is coming up, so enjoy that. And don't forget, when you go out, I know that things are starting to open up, but make sure if you have something to cover your face with. I'm still not going to the restaurants, I'm getting older. I don't want to get sick. Okay, bye. Thank you. Wow, I think we all can say thank you to Bob for coming and visiting. That was an amazing lesson. I did not know how to paint trees that quickly. I think that's really going to help me out a lot with my landscape painting as well. So I want to leave you on this note with something else that Bob told me. So sometimes when I make these videos, when I'm making art, when I'm interacting with people around wherever around school, sometimes, I don't know if you guys notice this, sometimes people might look at you a little bit funny, but it's okay. Artists are allowed to be a bit different. So if you're feeling like you're different from other people, it's okay. You're just an artist. Right? I cannot wait to see you next time. I'm hoping to finish my painting so that I can show you guys soon. And Bob gave me so much help, so that was awesome. All right, see you next time.